Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's ceremony at NASA's Bermuda Tracking Station. My name is Jeremy Eggers. I'm with NASA's Office of Communications. And without further ado, it's a great honor for me to introduce our U.S. Consul General here in Bermuda, Constance Dearman.
Thank you, Jeremy. Good morning, everyone. What a wonderful day to be able to share with you. I'd like to especially welcome Deputy Premier Robin. Thank you for being here. Sir John Swan, thank you for being here. Director Sam Shamimi, we're delighted that you're able to visit us from NASA headquarters. And Dr. Bill Roble, thank you very much for visiting us from Wallops. And to all our distinguished visitors, welcome. As many of you in this room know, Bermuda and NASA enjoy a productive partnership that dates back decades, back to the beginning of the Apollo lunar program in the 1960s. And we have some very special people with us today that bring those times to the front. And I'd like to first recognize the Way family. Mr. Bill Way is no longer with us, but his family is here today. He was an instrumental part of the facility, and we're so glad you could be here, Mrs. Way, and to the family. Thank you for sharing this day with us. I'd also like to acknowledge two very special gentlemen who were employed by NASA and worked in this original facility. And over the past months, probably longer than that, they have shared an enormous amount of information, stories, and pictures with us. Mr. Calvin Simons and Mr. Robert Burgess. Gentlemen, there you are. Thank you very much. Now, as it was in the 1960s, the government of Bermuda is helping make possible new advances in spaceflight. We are also very pleased that Bermuda has actively participated in NASA's Global Learning and Observations to Benefit the Environment, or GLOBE program, since 2014. And we are very much looking forward to continuing that cooperation in furthering education for local students. The U.S. and Bermuda share a history that is long and important. And the connection between NASA and Bermuda is yet one more example of the continued special relationship that we have and that we want to continue to foster. At this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Shamimi, Dr. Roble, and Mr. Robin to say a few words before we cut the ceremonial ribbon, officially launching, notice the word launch, the new site and the renewal of the establishment of the center here. Sam Shamimi is the director of the International Space Station at NASA headquarters. He has been a leader in human spaceflight for 30 years. He's worked both in the civil service and in private industry with extensive experience in human spaceflight. He is currently responsible for ensuring safe and productive operations at the International Space Station, implementing policy and programmatic direction, and providing regular progress reports to the White House and Congress. Mr. Shamimi has been involved with several major NASA programs, including the Space Shuttle, Stratospheric Observatory for Infrared Astronomy, and the National Polar Orbiting Operational Environmental Satellite System Preparatory Project Programs. A mouthful.
Only NASA could do that.
Only NASA. Thank you. Sam, please welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Constance. Well, it's a real pleasure to be here representing NASA and everything that we do. I'm really happy for the welcome that we've had and the enthusiastic support we've had from the government of Bermuda and also from the people of Bermuda as well. The mission that we support here at Wallops for the space station program is really important to us and the international partnership that we have for space station. This partnership spans not only countries in North America, the U.S. and Canada, but with Japan, Russia, and Europe as well. So we look forward to not only supporting the space station for many years to come, but also taking us to the future with going to the moon and going to Mars as well with our SLS support as well. So again, thank you so much for your wonderful support that we have, and we look forward to a bright and productive future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sam. I appreciate it. And Dr. William Robel, we're delighted you're here. Dr. Robel is the director of the NASA Goddard Space Flight Center in Wallops facility in Virginia. Wallops is NASA's only rocket launch range and is the agency's premier location for conducting research using suborbital and orbital vehicles. Dr. Robel is also the director of the Suborbital and Special Orbital Projects Directorate, which manages the agency's sounding rocket and scientific balloon programs. All things that are extraordinarily fascinating and exciting to us. I mean, it's just amazing to have you here. So we welcome you and invite you forward. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, Constance. Yeah, so, thank you all for the warm welcome that we have received since arriving yesterday. And so just so folks are aware, this isn't really staged so much today. We're actively working a mission that'll be flying out on Wednesday called ICON off of a Pegasus vehicle out of Florida. And so the teams have actually been setting up and actually working the data flows, et cetera. So it's kind of neat that not only are we here to kind of open this facility up, but it's an extension of what has been going on for a lot of years here. A couple of folks I'd really like to say thank you to is our workforce partner in this heavily has been LJT. Robert Conrad is the CEO of the company there. And so I want to say thank you to Robert and his team that have done so much work in making this what it is here today. And then I'd also like to point out and thank Bob Jameson, who's chief of our range at Wallops Flight Facility. And I would invite any of you that are able to see the Antares mission that comes out of here on the 15th of November. If you're here locally, you may be able to see it go overhead. And then I also say that if you're ever in the United States and would like to come in for a tour, a visit, and maybe take in one of these launches up close and personal, it's an experience you'll not forget. So again, thank you so much, and we really appreciate everything you've done for us.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Bill. We really appreciate it. And I am delighted to be able to welcome the Honorable Walter Robban, the Deputy Premier and Minister of Home Affairs. Previously, Minister Robban held the portfolios of Transport, Environmental Planning, and Infrastructure Strategy, and the Ministry of Health. He's a graduate of Morehouse College in Atlanta, so we have a common U.S. connection with the minister. And more importantly, he's been a great supporter of everything we have done to work to have NASA present today. And so I thank you very much, Minister, for being with us.
Thank you, Consul General, and just say welcome to all the persons from NASA here. And what I would like to say in just a few words is that the connection between NASA and Bermuda is a very important one. And we were certainly pleased as a government when some years ago NASA decided to come back, having left Bermuda in the mid-90s. And so we were quite happy, and we are overjoyed that that relationship has prospered and it has developed. And the fact that NASA has decided to move from having somewhat of a mobile presence but to a more permanent presence is even more wonderful for us. And one of the things that I'm excited about is that, and we've had discussions in this, and this is a part of the arrangement that we have with our partners, is that Bermuda's young people will have an opportunity to, because of the permanent presence, to see this facility, to come and see science for real. You know, it starts with sort of just reading it in books, but this is a real thing. And I'm excited that there's going to be an opportunity for Bermudian young people, because we are emphasizing STEAM learning in our schools now more than ever, and was always an opportunity for our young people to see real science at work. So I thank NASA for giving us that opportunity, and all of you who are here that are making this happen. And also those of you who are part of that history, like the Wade family, Mr. Simons, Mr. Burgess, and others who have been a part of that history of which we are seeing blossom once again. So with that, thank you to NASA, Consul General, all the officials, Mr. Shamimi, thank you for being here and symbolizing that connection and the importance of it. I had a wonderful honor to visit NASA's headquarters in Washington late last year, and we were received so warmly, almost like a family member. So I understand that NASA takes the relationship seriously, and this exemplifies that. So thank you for coming here and exemplifying that true relationship that Bermuda has with NASA. And with that, again, thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for supporting what's happening, and the future is clearly ahead of us, and it's going to be beautiful. Thank you very much.
Please, Jeremy, may I invite you?
So ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for the event we've truly gathered for here today, and that is to formally dedicate this tracking station. And so if you give us just a moment, I'm going to ask my team here to pull our ribbons out, and if I could ask my team here to get into place behind the ribbon. Let's go ahead and pull that out. We'll kind of...
So we're going to go behind.
We'll come right this way.
Yeah, please. Watch your cord.
Vince has been our point person on the site here to really help pull us together as well. So I'm going to ask him to stand next to our deputy premier here. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's how we do it at NASA, right? We don't count up, we do a countdown. So if you can please help me. 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the formal part of our ceremony today, but I do know our team, our NASA team is here. We'd love to talk to you more about what happens in this room, the mission of this tracking station. So we do have some touring, and we also have some light